All right, 5, 4, 3, 2. You're listening to the Heroes Power Hour presented by BlizzPro.com. Your host, Balrog Fan VP, and co-host, Zexorus and DJ Tyrant.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? All the people in chat, all the people listening via podcast later on in the week, however you do it, we appreciate you listening to us. We are on episode 48 of Heroes Power Hour. There was a time when I wasn't sure if we'd do more than one, so this is just to be approaching 50 at this point. I am so psyched to be here. As always, I've got a couple of great co-hosts with me, and I'll introduce the guy that you probably know because he's a celebrity. He's the founder of Stay Tight Corporations. I'm, of course, talking about Jimmy Bloxam, a.k.a. DJ Tyrant. How you doing, man?
I'm good. It's good to be back here. I mean, the meta changes every freaking week now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We're in exciting times for Heroes of the Storm.
Yes. The everything is changing every week, and it's fun. It's a lot more fun to play this game recently, that's for sure. And to his right, for people who are viewing our ugly mugs for whatever reason they decide to do that, I mean, thank you. We got Zexorus, Mr. Willie. How you doing, man?
Doing all right. Feeling a little under the weather at the moment, however, but that should clear up here soon enough. But yeah, I'm having a good time, and it's snowing, and that makes me happy inside.
Yeah, snow is good. And yeah, that bug's going around. Everybody seems to be getting in. I remain immune, and I will spit in the face of everybody. I don't care. I'm healthy.
That's one way to do it.
I'm sure I'll be sick next week for that comment, but hey, right now, living the dream.
You have karma coming back to you at some point.
Yeah, probably. Maybe in the form of an Overwatch beta.
Ooh,
Are we doing this already?
I got
Is this how the show ends?
Today, people, and Willie just is chomping at the bit to get in, and I got him before him, so we'll go there and
oh my gosh,
walk away. Anyways, we had a pretty big week in games. I mean, how about you jump in first, Jimmy? Because I know you did some stuff this week too, and me and Willie's kind of converged together. How was the week in Heroes of the Storm related things?
It was good. It was a lot of fun. I played actually a lot of solo Hero League, and it went not too terrible. I think I broke about 50%, so I'm back to rank 32. But I actually had my first run-in with someone who AFK'd, and it was really frustrating. I was like, really, guy? Come on. And, but yeah, I feel really confident with my Thrall right now, and I know we've been practicing Chair League stuff. You'll be talking more about that later. But yeah, Thrall is just such a solid hero. I love playing him. He's a lot of fun. It seems to be that I win in Hero League when I play him, and anytime I play anyone else, it just is a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to take that roll of damage on yourself in Hero League. That's something I learned kind of. I used to almost never play Assassin, though. I was like, all right, I got to learn some Assassins because I keep ending up with these people who don't really know what they're doing, and I know, even though I'm bad at Assassins compared to some of my friends who play them, I'm probably better than these guys, so.
Yeah.
Once you embrace the hate and start doing some damage, it's a lot of fun. And yeah, I can confirm that DJ Tyrant swings a mean hammer with Thrall.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's great. Willie, you want to talk about what we did this week?
Sure.
In Heroes of the Storm, to clarify.
Just Heroes of the Storm?
Yes, just Heroes of the Storm, please.
Okay.
We
did a lot of practice with the Blizz Pro team, consisting of myself, Balrog, and Aya. DJ was helping us out there.
He graces us peasants with his occasional presence.
He helped us. He was helping us stay tight.
Yeah, definitely.
Flame, and a couple patrons, Aya, Flame G, and a mutual friend of the show, Digiality.
Yeah.
And
He goes by
We
many
had
names,
some-
none of them correct. We're calling him
I-
digitally on the stream.
Oh
Josh.
my
Yeah.
gosh.
Digitally.
That's great.
Yeah,
I will go on record and say it is digitality, like fatality, except
digital.
digital. Yes, there we go.
But it's been fun getting back in to competitive scene for now finally. Rediscovering my love of CC tanks
Yeah.
and helping control the flow of a team fight and things like that. And we had a chair league game last night, which didn't go the way we wanted it to, but it was still exciting nonetheless. Just for the hard comeback that we made mid-game on them. After being down, we were down, 2 levels at one point?
Yeah, and we're
Maybe-
down 7 kills to nothing, I believe.
Yeah, 7-0, and we just came roaring back real hard. But an unfortunate pickoff towards the end, I kind of just killed the game, and that's okay. But they were a really good team.
Yeah.
They had a lot of good players. Like I believe they had 2 master level players and a few diamond level players.
Yep.
The rest were diamond levels.
Yeah.
And and it showed, and it
Oh, yeah.
definitely showed. They had a really good Diablo team, because that Diablo put in so much work. It was crazy.
Yeah, his shadow charge was like a 90% lethal rate. It was insane. It was like, oh, I got hit by shadow charge. Well, I'm dead.
Yeah.
I was already like working on installing the game as soon as he would grab me.
Yeah, but I think one thing you guys did really well, from what I saw, I didn't get to see the whole thing, but I kind of had it open while I was on Stormcast last night. Was
Talk about that too.
yeah, but your guys' draft was really solid. I really thought you guys did a good job doing what you could with the drafts.
One thing I might have changed is maybe taking Zagara there. I don't know how well she would have fared against, but that Maw might have done a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, I think that Maw would have done tons of work because their whole setup was Diablo slam into suplex, and then 4 people just smack the snot out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So-
for those who didn't watch it either, I mean, they last picked Butcher on us, our move is last picking Arthas because no one sees it coming. And we talked about 800 different possibilities of what we could run into during the strategy discussion things and how we should play against certain team comps and what we should do on that map, what's most effective. I don't think the syllables of the Butcher ever came to anyone's lips.
It never entered my mind.
No one saw the Butcher coming, and that Butcher was mean, and in combination with their team and their structure, had I known that the Butcher was coming, I wouldn't have put Sylvanas out there because she is weak to heavy stun teams, and Zagara would have been a little better, but, other than that, yeah, I'm very happy with our performance last night. It wasn't a win, but it wasn't a crushing embarrassment either, so we learn and we move on. That's Heroes of the Storm, baby.
Yep.
You'll sort
How about you, Charlie? Why don't you talk about your week in Heroes?
I've been trying to play more successfully. It's a lot more fun recently. I've been playing Rhaegar a lot just because it's such a good play. I mean, I mainly just been playing supports. I kind of want to get back to some of my assassins I like playing, but it's been a support heavy week for me. And yeah, Chair League. I mean, calling matches is a lot of fun. I'm still working on being a consistently effective shot caller. It takes a lot of practice, and you kind of got to learn your team's tendencies and know when they'll know what to do without you needing to tell them, and when you need to be on top of people to be doing things certain ways or whatever. With you guys, I don't really have to do much shot calling. It's fairly straightforward, but I notice when I'm losing, like we were last night, I start to call scared a little bit, and I don't put enough faith in you guys, so that's something I'm going to work on. And that's been my Heroes week this week. It's been fun. DJ, you were on a show called Stormcast with a Mr. Mick Montgomery and Notch, and
Dills.
Dills is on there now.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's just another really great Heroes of the Storm podcast, part of the community of all of us podcasters. And it was a lot of fun when we talked a lot about the North American Championships coming up, and I complained a lot about there not being a live finals, and that was fun to argue with Notch about that. because
Yeah.
he took the business side of Blizzard there, and I was like, they're spending all this money flying the teams and talent out for this event. Like, it's just silly that there's no live audience for it.
Yeah, you've been banging that drum for a little bit now.
Yeah, just a teeny bit. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. We talked a lot about Li-Ming, obviously, because she's the hot stuff this week. So, and
Yeah.
that's what we'll be talking about this week, obviously, as well. I think along with Rhaegar. And yeah, go check it out. I don't know if it's out yet on podcast form, but if you're subscribed to it, it should be out very soon. It was a really fun show, and just more talking about Heroes of the Storm with a lot of the community folks. It was fun.
Yep, you can check them out. I believe their Twitch page is Spazbot Studios. It's probably still archived.
Yeah, correct.
Yep, so it will be there if anybody wants to go and see DJ's pretty face while he converses with more commoners. It's just so Hollywood.
I let him have some of my time.
That's good.
It's part of my volunteer work.
Yeah, he penciled them in. He could have erased it if something more pressing came up.
Yeah.
Teaching the masses to stay tight.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. The funny thing about that is I was watching the NH qualifiers on Sunday, and Jake actually said that as a throw to the commercial. I was like, oh my gosh.
That is amazing.
Solid Jake is doing it now. Oh, man.
They were saying it at the end of the cheerleague match, too. They
Yeah,
were
oh,
Yeah.
God.
like, oh, stay tight reference. Yeah, because instead of GG, we say stay tight.
There you go.
So, yeah.
There you go.
Jimmy,
Thank you.
you're stuck
Thank you for keeping that alive. I gotta get a T-shirt going.
It's true. You
My-
just-
Yes, you
My
do.
face on it.
Did I say
Oh my
stay tight?
gosh.
Oh, man.
Oh, jeez.
If you haven't seen it yet, just find a way to see it.
If go to my Twitter page, twitter.com/DJTyrant. I have it pinned at the top
There it
for easy viewing.
Outstanding. So there was a really big patch last week, and pretty much we always try to do a week in review after something that big happens. It's always worth discussing how things have affected the meta and the way everybody's playing it right now, the changes we saw, and it's been surprising because you don't expect heroes to come in with that kind of impact most of the time. I'm trying to think of the last hero who came out who was this effective right away in the meta, and I think it was
Maybe
Sylvanas.
Kale?
Was
Kael'thas.
Kael'thas?
Yeah, I think Kale, yeah.
I feel like there was like a very big learning curve for Kael'thas players like that first week, but I don't know. Kale and Sylvanas definitely.
Yeah.
And she's strong. She is just a really good hero. Like, and I don't want to complain about her. I don't think there's anything to complain about. I just think she's a really good hero. She's probably like maybe a little tad stronger than she should be, but not by much. I think she's in a really good spot, honestly. And I haven't even played her yet, so I know you guys have both given her a shot. Where are you guys standing on Li-Ming? Well, we'll go to you, Zax, first.
She's a little OP with how her current talent setup is at. Despite adding no extra damage to her arcane orb, S of Johann is way too good to be at 4. It is way too good to be at 4. Just the fact that it disrupts team fights so much is and with her being as safe as she is, it is absolutely disgusting how much work S of Johann can do. Like, I don't think there's any other pick at 4. Like, I wouldn't take anything else.
Yeah. It's a really good talent. I mean, it's disruptive. It can move people out of their channels. It can knock people out of things. It's really good.
It's pretty silly.
Yeah, I mean, for such a long-range harass tool, it's very disruptive. So, with the balance changes, the rumors of balance changes, which are pretty much already confirmed at this point since it came from Browder, right?
Yeah, well, it came from the official Blizzard Heroes account. They said, "Oh, we're having a balance patch this week." It's like,
So
okay,
it's 100%.
yeah, it's 100% happening. I think what's even more interesting, though, is how big the impact of Rhaegar's rework is. I mean, as much as I want to talk about Li-Ming, I really want to talk about Rhaegar. I mean, Hot Slog, you have to take Hot Slog a little bit with a grain of salt, but...
Yeah, obligatory hot slog is not the official statistics
Exactly.
site of Blizzard. It is a independently run site that collects data that is already out there.
He's number one at 62.6% win rate. Like, that's absurd. 15% higher than last week.
Yeah, if you go to Quick Match, yeah, it's around the same thing. 14% increase, 62.4. That is insane.
I don't know, man.
It was a big rework.
Yeah.
He's got arguably the best shield in the game now. Like, it might be better than Tacitar's.
Yeah, because it does damage.
Now, the damage on it's absurd, and you can scale into a very healthy shield on it at 13, or talent into it.
Mm-hmm. And you make it the larger radius at 1, I think it is. And it gets out of control.
And he's aggressive, and he's mobile, and he's got slows. I mean, he's a solid hero all around. Then he's got the big heal button that everyone loves to get when they need it. So, I mean, you make him more viable like they did. And yeah, he's definitely. I mean, I played him quite a bit last week, and I feel like I've won a lot more than I lost when I picked Rhaegar. So it doesn't surprise me. You think he'll be on any of that balance addressing tomorrow?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, probably. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, we can look at Nova. She has dropped 11.2% in her win rate and is at 39.4% win rate.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about...
I'm marking her at 43 with a negative 8.2.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, she fell off big. Abathur jumped up 4.4. We're seeing increase in Greymane. He's up 2.9. He's pretty much in a perfect spot right
I
now.
like where he is, yeah. Another loser of the patch who didn't really see changes was Uther. He dropped 5%.
I think that's just, you see less of him now because Rhaegar's better.
Yeah.
Tronde as well, falling off now. All the supports pretty much.
You've seen a 4.1% drop in Kalthus. They didn't change him at all, but people stopped picking him as much. So.
Yeah, I mean, why would you pick the Kalthus in this format when you're always going to have Li-Ming available to you? Although I did play a Hero League match the other day that had no Li-Ming in it, and I was shocked.
Yeah,
that's a strange development.
Yeah. It is a strange development. That actually confuses me.
I was very confused.
Where Thrall has been staying right around that 58% range as well. I think he'll probably see a little bit of tuning. We'll probably see Nova tuned up a bit.
Or they could just put her back to the way she was.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows? They might give it another week before they touch her, too, just because it was a big change, and who knows. Willie, you got anything you want to throw in there? I mean, like, you play some of these heroes, and Johanna's pretty much sat exactly where she is, above 52%. Do you feel any different? Do you feel like she's better now, or?
Well, to be perfectly honest, every tank has been buffed by Rhaegar getting that massive overhaul.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that like to be inside a team fight. I mean, Murden, Johanna, Nubarak, they've all been violently buffed thanks to these changes just to Rhaegar.
Yeah.
You know?
2.9%.
Yeah. Illidan Rhaegar is a thing again, you know? Yeah. I kind of predicted it last week, saying that the 4 Protect 1 strat could come back, and in some ways it is. You know?
Yeah, I saw some team do that on the NA regionals. It might have been Team Blaze, I think.
I think it was.
But yeah, they did the whole Abathur Illidan thing, and it was gross.
Well, even Na'Vi did it in the European champs. They were. And it wasn't even. I felt like it wasn't even Na'Vi going, hey, this team is good, this might work against his team. No, this was a complete disrespect. This was Navi going, we're going to do this because you simply can't stop us from, executing this.
Exactly.
You are not mechanically on our level.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't see Team Blaze really doing that, but like Navi, like when they're feeling themselves, they're really feeling themselves, and they really don't care about your feelings.
Pretty much.
Yeah. A little off topic. And I guess it's because of the data upload now that I think about it. But why is Cho's popularity 9.8% and Gall's popularity 8.8%? And how did one fall more than the other in win rate?
That's a great question.
We'd have to talk to Hotslog people on how they
we
parse
just exposed Hotslog. This is why it's not official.
Fraud!
Yeah. Just
Big,
make stuff
big,
up.
big fat phony.
Shots fired. I have no idea.
No, I don't know either.
I'm guessing maybe some Cho players upload.
Oh, I think if you look, the heroes have to be level 5 or higher. So maybe
sense.
That's part of it. One half of them is not high enough.
Or,
I don't know.
Who knows?
That's the only thing I could think of.
All right. Well, let me derail the show with a riddle. Okay, moving on. We have Heroes of the Dorm coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty big. I mean, I was so pleased last year. I felt like I suddenly had a bunch of people messaging me and talking to me about a game they didn't even know what was going on. Like, I had at least 3 friends like, oh, what is this? This is awesome. You see this Ham on the Core stuff? This is great. Like, and it was just done so well with no promotion, and they're kind of going full throttle here. Jimmy, since you're our E-insider, Hollywood big timer, you kind of have your finger on the pulse here a little bit. So why don't you tell us what's going on with Heroes of the Dorm?
Yeah, so they announced it a few weeks ago, and it's very similar to how it was last year, but they've upped the tuition amount that they're giving away to the winning team, and yeah, they each player on the winning team walks away with up to $75,000 in tuition for their college career, which is huge. Because I know Suppy, he was on Berkeley last year. He's a former StarCraft player. And he won, and he is using that money for graduate school. And if you know how expensive graduate school is, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And it actually says,
depending on what year.
Yeah.
Are.
There's a lot of breakdowns. Go on the Blizzard site to really kind of figure all the details there. But I find very interesting. In addition, one substitute player per team will win up to $25,000 for 1 year. So if you really kind of build your team to be really flexible like that, that is awesome that your flex player gets to get in on that if they eventually win. And if anyone is interested in joining, putting together a team, registration is open right now through February 18th. So go sign up soon. February 18th is like 9 days from now. So... Yeah. Go do that. And then online qualifiers will be February 20th and March 6th, or through March 6th. And then the final... Okay, so the round of 64 through the round of 8 will be on ESPN3, Twitch, and YouTube. The Heroic 4 will be April 9th on ESPN2, and the Grand Finals April 10th on ESPN2. So 2 days of live action on ESPN2, which is... We're back on ESPN2. I honestly didn't think this event would be back on ESPN2. I was actually thinking this event might not come back, but it did, and I'm very happy it's come back. And doing it on the collegiate level is very awesome. And I mean, this has been a very long time coming for Blizzard. They bought TESPA 3-4 years ago, so this is kind of the real fruits of that purchase for them now. And it's really cool to see. And we saw a lot of really cool plays last year. We saw a lot of Illidan and stuff like that. So it'll be fun to watch this again and see who comes out of it.
a pick ban system this year? Has that been announced yet, or is that something that might?
I don't actually know. That's a good question.
Last year, that was the one gripe some people had who were really into the game. Well, we see all these Illidan's because of the ban system.
Yeah, I would imagine that they would do that this year. Hopefully, they'll have something in game by then, but who knows? Yeah. So
in a couple months.
In a couple months, exactly.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see.
And
the bracket challenge.
Yeah, the bracket challenge. That's going to be exciting. I did that last year and did okay. I called Berkeley winning the whole thing because I felt Suppy being on there was really, really strong for them. But if you do the
better brackets in Blizz Pro, didn't you?
I might have. I don't know. It was a while ago. My memory's fuzzy.
Oh, okay.
But you can actually win $10,000 for yourself if you're the most accurate bracket.
Yeah.
It's always fun doing this, and this is very much in parallel to March Madness brackets for college basketball. And it's a lot harder than you would think because there's 64. You start at the round of 64, and if you screw up there, your whole bracket is kind of it can be a cascading effect of screwing it up. But what I am curious about is, will people who the players who won last year, are they able to participate again or not? And I'm curious who we'll see up and coming from this event, because last year we saw a lot of players who are on pro teams right now. Like almost all of Berkeley, I think, is on Cloud9 or Tempo Storm at this point.
Yeah.
And ASU, a couple of their members are on Panda Global. I mean, there's a good mix of players who kind of came up from there and were able to go pro.
It's really, it's got to be encouraging for people who want to, get into that field, because what better way to submit your resume to pro teams than being on ESPN and performing well? It's basically the brightest lights you can shine on yourself when it comes to Heroes of the Storm, outside of actually being on a pro team already.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And, I mean, the brackets, and it's not just, they're free entry, and not just $10,000 is the only prize. There was a lot of prizes they gave out randomly just for filling out a bracket, so I really encourage people to do that, because it is a lot of fun. And I'm hoping, last year's statistics, Blizzard, ESPN, whoever, a little weak. You didn't really give us much info on a lot of this stuff. It just kind of, I want favorite heroes on every character, you know?
Yeah, a little more info would be awesome, so I don't have to try to dig and find it.
Yeah, usually it would just say their average win percentage and their average match length time. Which
and the top teams, it was average match length time, 10 minutes. You're like, well, that doesn't tell me much.
Right.
That just tells me they played teams that were significantly lower skill than them.
Yeah. Yep, so who knows? I'm hoping for more stuff, though. I hope they improve on this a little bit every year, and it's Blizzard. They do a good job of stuff like this, so I do think they will. They've obviously stepped up their game a bit this year already with the dorm being announced and it kind of being really brought to the forefront right away.
Mm-hmm.
Strike while the iron's hot kind of thing.
Definitely.
Did you watch last year's X?
I did not. I believe I was... that was in the summer, right?
It was
April, yeah.
Yeah, I was busy with everything else and outside of life that I didn't have a chance to watch it. I wanted to.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if because we never really talked too much about it. Yeah, it's a fun event, and what we're going to try to do, there'll be more details coming soon, but we're going to try and have a Discord channel or maybe a Skype call going or something, and during the weekend of March 19th and March 20th, and the weekend of March 26th and 27th, while it's being streamed on Twitch and YouTube, you can come join us and watch with us and talk with us and have some fun, drink some beers, talk about your bracket, talk about the teams, talk about Heroes of the Storm, ask any of us anything. Now, we won't guarantee that we will be there all hours of the day watching every single match, as we do have lives and we do things outside of this game occasionally, unfortunately. Sometimes. But we will do our best to be there as much as possible, because I don't know about you guys, I really want to watch all this.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. It would be fun.
So, more details on that coming soon, but yeah, come party with the Blizz Pro crew. Woot. Okay, nobody's got anything to add there. So
No.
moving on, we'll go to Alebeard. Alebeard wrote a pretty great article here this week, and it's all about things the pros do. Clearing creep, doing all the things that is important when it comes to fighting a Zagara. And it just kind of breaks down the Zagara, like how the tumors spread, where she places them, why she places them there. The importance mainly being focusing on the vision it provides. Now, this is something most players who play the game frequently know. They see pros do it, they see the vision, and really she's one of the few heroes in this game that can give a team consistent vision in key locations without actually needing to be in that spot. I mean, I think this is just one of those things where it kind of highlights some of the things about this game, the little things that heroes can do to provide to a team. And, I mean, players who don't play Zagara well, they don't lay down or creep much outside of the beginning of the laning phase. It's important to keep it in, and especially on certain maps. Tomb of the Spider Queen especially comes to mind. Battlefield of Eternity, great map for Zagara's vision creep. Blackheart's Bay, places like that. And Alebeard does a really good job of breaking that all down. And if you want, go to heroesofstorm.blizspro.com, look at Alebeard's articles. It's called Things the Pros Do, Clear Creep. And I wanted to take this opportunity to ask you guys, is there anything that, like, little things players can do that you would recommend players to do? I know Zexorus has a lot of experience with this, kind of like small tips or things they can change in habits of their gameplay, because he usually watches a lot of streams and kind of he breaks down our games after Chair League and stuff. So what do you think, Zax?
In clearing creep, you want to
just in general, like anything that, I mean, this is just kind of like a springboard for that.
You're asking me a really open-ended question. There's just pay attention. Pay attention to the your map. Like I would recommend map awareness to be like almost the primary thing any player who wants to get better focus on. If you see 4 bottom and you are a tank with high mobility, like you're playing Johanna, you're playing Muradin, and to an extent Chen even. You are by yourself in an opposite lane. You are pretty much free to push that lane as hard as possible, because if they're somewhere else, they're obviously focusing on some kind of objective. But when you do not have vision of them, when you see less than 2, you need to be you want to play a little safer, in my opinion. Because someone's going to get ganked, they're taking a camp, but you don't know that. So, why gamble on a maybe?
Yeah.
And again, it tells you, the map itself tells you if a camp has been taken. So if 3 are missing from the map and their side camps are cleared, then you're probably looking at a rotation to a lane to try to gank the solo person who's furthest out of position. Don't let that person be you.
Yeah, map awareness is probably one of the bigger things I would recommend as well. It's one of those things where if you're not watching the minimap, you're probably new to the game and focusing on what's going around you, and that's fine. But if you ever want to step that game up, you want to be focusing on learning stuff about the minimap. I'd say one of the other things you can do too early on is kind of play around with heroes and see which class you fall into. So use the tool like HOTS logs, or just check in game about what has the highest win rate for you. Learning something that about that hero once you kind of figure it out. When I started this game, I didn't like Taurens. I didn't care about like Thunderbluff. I didn't care about like guys holding a giant, cows holding guitars. It was the furthest thing down on my list. And I started playing, I'm like, wow, I'm really good with ETC. I mean, I win more with ETC than anyone. And then I really got into ETC, and it wasn't... You're going to end up liking who you win more with. We all know Kerrigan and Arthas are very cool characters, but they're also very hard to play. And if they're your characters and you're really good with them, play them. But don't be afraid to stray away from that, because I think a lot of people get their spirits broke when they can't just run in and kill everybody with Zeratul and they don't become good immediately with Zeratul. Find a character you're comfortable with and embrace that role.
That's how I got good with Chen.
Yeah.
Chen is by far and away one of the most mechanically complicated characters to play, and positionally aware. How do I want to say? Positionally aware, or shifting positionally aware characters. Like you have to constantly know where you want to go next with him, and for some reason he just clicks with me. Yeah. Like I just get it.
That was the same way with Vikings for me.
Yeah,
because I was just like, I think they're cool. I'll try them out, and I realized I was relatively good with them, and then I kept playing them, and I was like, oh wow, I'm actually like competent with these guys.
Yeah, and we watched me play Vikings, and it wasn't.
It's a skill set, definitely.
Yeah, it brought back nightmares of Meepo.
Other Dota 2 reference.
Oh, yeah.
Understand it all.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet, I love it. Jimmy, do you have anything that you kind of like can think about that you might have, suggest to new players where little things you can do that make you better?
Just with going on the theme of the clearing creep and it being obviously very important to deny vision and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you kind of want to look at your lineup, and you need to look and see if you are the only character that has an AoE or a consistent AoE, you need to be the one kind of clearing creep. I mean, obviously, know your role and make that the priority, but when you can, clear creep. Always be clearing creep, because it can really just change the dynamic of a match. I mean, something like, why can't I think of the map name? The desert one.
Sky Temple.
Sky Temple. Like, if it's a good cigar, there's going to be creep all over the place by the boss. If you have an opportunity to just clear that out, you can potentially swoop in and steal a boss there.
Yeah, and I think that would fall into just knowing what heroes are capable of in this game. There's a big initial buy-in of knowledge, basically, where you need to kind of get to use to what every character can actually do in the game. That's why there's the famous joke of, first-time players seeing an Abathur going, why is that guy AFKing in base? Report him. It's a general, there's just a lot to know, and there's something where there's new stuff in this game. You're learning all that, and you're learning maps, and then you can get way deep into it and start learning what talent builds do things, what map timers come up when, and all these kind of extra things. But at its base, knowledge is a good thing, and there's plenty of tools out there.
Yeah, on that point about talents and stuff, I've generally kind of switched myself over to, when I hit the tab key, always being on talents, not being concerned about numbers at all. Numbers, I mean, they matter, but they don't matter in the middle of a game, honestly. And if you can know what talents they're taking and kind of play accordingly, it can be the difference between knowing when to properly engage and when not to.
The numbers are fun. They're self-gratification, or for lesser players, it's for trying to find someone to place the blame on. Mm-hmm. But the actual helpful tab there is definitely the talents. Although, if they keep changing those talent icons, I'm gonna get confused.
I know.
I'd like to add one more thing after you guys have said your piece. Something that I learned here recently. But go ahead.
I just those icons keep throwing me.
Yeah, go for it, Zex.
Yeah.
Another thing I would recommend to new players is find a friend, learn some synergy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to relate a story that Charlie and I had about a poor Cho'Gall.
Oh man, yeah, that guy.
We were playing with a couple of friends, and Cocoon. I figured out the other day, Cocoon counters Cho'Gall fairly well. Mm-hmm. What's worse is when you pair a Nubrak with Stitches. And this poor Cho'Gall. And I don't blame this guy at all. Well, these Cho'Gall players at all. But what would happen was a fight would break out, and he'd immediately cocoon the Cho'Gall. And then just as the cocoon was wearing off, I would run back towards my gate and hook Cho'Gall towards me, and then I'd gorge him and walk him behind tower.
It was consistent. It happened all the time.
Oh my gosh!
It's pretty much the definition of synergy.
Yeah, and that I've never seen
a picture of Stitches now swallowing Cho'Gall and walking towards a gate.
I'm glad you're promoting synergy.
That Cho'Gall had 13 or 14 deaths that game. That's something I've never seen before. That he got out to 8 or 9, and I legitimately started feeling bad for those two people because we just the synergy was too much. Like nobody, if they wanted to interrupt it, they could have just jumped in front of a hook, took a bullet for the president. But they just because in that case they would have been losing one hero rather than two. Mm-hmm. Somebody was dying.
We were killing their team off while he was wrapped, though. I mean, he didn't really have a lot of.
He didn't have any options.
Hard counter. It really is.
It was one of the hardest counters I've ever experienced. It was just absolutely ridiculous. But yes, learn synergy with other heroes. Like another example would be, Illidan usually pairs really well with Abathur.
Yeah.
Abathur pairs usually really well with Thrall or any other, melee hero. Abathur will get a lot of work done in team fights. And there's hundreds of combinations. There's just, there's really great synergies with heroes that you might not exactly think of at first, but you won't figure it out until you get in there and you get your hands dirty.
I agree. I think that's a great thing to try and focus on when you're starting out. Just little things you can do to make your play better. Find which heroes you play best with. So we didn't do it last week because we've been super deep into that patch last week, and it took up most of the show because it was a very big patch. But this week we're back with what's hot on Reddit. Insert clever sizzling sound that I don't have. And this week we have a thing called My Thoughts on Why Chen is Somewhat Hard to Play / Understand Balance. And Willie dug this one up. Surprise, surprise.
I didn't mean to.
Sure. He just types in Chen into Google every hour and then waits for a hit. And it's just part of his sickness, people. But it all makes him
I might have a Google alert for Chen.
Oh
yes.
My gosh.
But yeah, I mean, this was a really great post. There was a lot of information here, and we could probably just spend like a half hour, 45 minutes on this post alone. Obviously, we're not going to do that because there's only like 12 Chen players in the world, so. We're going to limit it a little bit, but what really jumped out at what was your favorite part of this whole post? First off, Willie,
the fact that he actually broke down the different ways you could build Chen. He breaks it down into 3 parts: the offensive, the defensive, and the support Chen. And what I liked about it was that he gives different reasoning for why Chen could take a different talent set over another. Like the offensive build where you forego Regen Master in favor of like Consuming Flame or Deadly Strike. It would be something that you would want to play Chen like as a bruiser or on a 2-lane map where globe farming is gonna kind of suck, Yeah. And he talks about dive comps and how Chen really excels in that, and he does. He's a wonderful diver. He puts in a lot of work for being just a tank. You know, he does a disturbing amount of damage. Even going defensive build Chen, like I would, because that's the build I prefer. To me, it provides the most bang for your buck. You are the sturdiest in this build, and they can't kill you after a certain point. Like you back off, and then you're already back up to at least minimum half HP if you got critical status. The one I've never tried, just because I write it off as complete garbage, but reading his reasoning, the support Chen is interesting. I don't think I'd ever try it, just because that takes away from way too much of his strengths.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. I don't like the support Chen build. I understand his reasoning behind it, and I accept it. I just don't think you should ever put Chen, who excels so much in other areas, on a support role. It's not a good feeling. But then he goes into he goes into his weaknesses. Like everybody knows, Chen sucks against crowd control. You stun him. You basically, you ever play against a Chen, you wait until the instant he starts drinking. You stun him, you've ruined his day. Like you see him dancing around trying to start an ult off, you stun him.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, there has been there was a lot of information here, and one of the things that I'm seeing here too is, I don't know if you saw this at the bottom, but the lead technical designer for Blizzard, the guy that BlizzPro actually interviewed, responded to this post.
I did see that. That's why I had brought the post up to our attention in the first place, because I usually just look for Reddit posts that have a Blizzard response to them. Mm-hmm. And this one just happened to be about Chen and just happened to have a Blizzard response.
Yeah. See, I didn't even know that until I was reading before the show. And mm-hmm. I found it very funny that it was like the talents seem to be the sticking point for most of these guys, for them, and it's always been a problem with you too, I think. The way his talents need a rework. It's not so much the character himself, because you make it work, obviously. You found strength within Chen. It just, something's off about his build picking.
Yeah, I don't think, despite my claim that Brewmaster Balance is one of the best skills in the game, I don't think it needs, I think it's perfect as is. And yes, I am very biased towards Chen. Yes, I'm going to say that. But realistically, it gives him two sets of utility for one pick. I have seen other Chens forego Brewmaster Balance at 7 for other things, and I can see why they're doing that. I can't name any of them, though.
Yeah.
Because I don't take anything but Brewmaster Balance. The move speed to chase people down at low brew is wonderful, or run away. It's also wonderful. The regen at high brew is also absolutely amazing. There's too much that brew balance does, and either nerfing that or introducing stronger talents than brew balance at 7 is like the option, and I can't. They tried reworking him a while ago, and we all know how I felt about that. I think I was on a good 3-week rage bender.
Yeah.
After that Chen rework.
Well, they did talk about moving it baseline, making it part of his just core talent, Brewmaster Balance.
Oh, is that what baseline means then?
That's
Yeah, you know what? That's fine. I had a stupid idea where I don't care where you threw the talent, but giving Chen the ability to drink and move at the same time. but you weren't able to drink unless you were under 25% brew.
Yeah.
It's completely stupid. It should not get put in. But it's one of those. It's one of those. This would make him less vulnerable to CC.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny to see these posts because this is one of the things I do really love about Reddit, where somebody who has a lot of passion for a character gets on here and they just write this basically term paper on a character they love. It's not like, hey, fix this guy, jerks. You know, some people get on here and they really care about this character. It means a lot to them. So they think about what they think is wrong, what they think the fix is, what they think is strong about the hero. All this stuff went into this post. And someone at Blizzard noticed that and responded to it and basically assured him, like, you know, look, we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we know it is an issue. There's no details yet, but we're letting you know we are thinking about making changes to your favorite character. So that's why I like to do this segment. I think Reddit is a great tool for our community because, I mean, when we interviewed John Hodgins and Alan DeBerry, I'm not sure how to say his last name, but they basically said, you know, Reddit is a great tool for us. We can get on there and really kind of figure out what's going on in the community and what people are thinking at the moment. And in the end of the day, their job is to please us in one way or another. They've got to make a game that's, you know, balanced, and they've got to make a game that people want to play, but that all stems from us being able to, you know, enjoy the game we're playing. So it's nice to know that they're listening.
Most definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and I've gone over this post a few times now, and I completely, especially on the issue of ultimates, storm, earth, fire damage, and it is a bit too low, but I don't think it's not the way I would change SEF. I would actually give the Pandalings more health, just to keep them in team fights longer. Because late game, SEF is almost primarily used as a oh crap I overcommitted tool, you know, and get out via the jumps. Like, it very rarely has any utility late game. Just because the pandas don't get enough health, everyone is too strong at that point, and it's easy just to shred the Pandalings. Well, the other change I would make is kind of what was suggested for Wandering Cake, and that is to let Chen's natural regen with the brew balance and possible regen master pick. Let that work. You know, that so. Yeah. Like, that would make both ultimates a lot more useful and a lot more viable than a, you know, triple body block maybe, you know, or just trying to push someone out of position. So, but that's just me. Like, I've wanted that change. I was okay with them taking away the ability to merc block somebody with SEF. I was absolutely, because that just wasn't fair, you know. Yeah. You split on someone while they're trying to take a merc camp, and you're pretty much assured that camp if they're by themselves, like, they're going to die. There's nothing they can do about it. Yeah. But
I'm just happy someone came out with this post and there's enough people playing Chen to really care about him besides Willie, obviously. And I just really like that Blizzard came out with a response for this, because I mean, ever since the changes, I've pretty much stopped playing Chen, and I had him at like halfway through level 9. I was really enjoying playing him, and then just I don't know what it was. The changes just made him not enjoyable for me at least. And so maybe this will bring him back to me playing him a bit more again.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to
much stun heavier comps at that point too.
Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to remember when I got my Chen to 20.
It was early.
It was early. Yeah. I remember being in the game with you for that one.
Oh yeah, you were with me.
Yeah, because you fought another Chen on bot on
That's
Dragonshire.
right. We had that. We had
You
that
had this
dance
epic
battle.
showdown.
Yeah. It was
And
Chen
you-
versus Chen.
Yeah, and
like,
I think I was on Malf or something. I'm like, I'm coming down. You're like, no, don't you dare come here.
Yeah. I absolutely. It was just flipping and kicking, and then we both just gave up and started our taunts because we weren't getting anywhere.
Yeah, it was funny.
If that Chen is out there, I still respect you.
Well, that's gonna probably do it for this week. A pretty good show. I think we did a good job, guys. Thank
Definitely.
you.
Thank you guys for coming.
We're also good at this. We got the game portion coming up. You can come and join us and play some games. If you're a patron, you have patron priority, which means you get to get in first and jump right in those games. I know it is quite the privilege. And Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and tell them how to get to our patron page for people interested in donating as little as $1 a month, and it goes so much. It feeds our soul, and it's not just the money, it's not the dollar, because it's more in getting the recognition, knowing somebody out there cares about us. That's big.
Yeah, patreon.com/heroespowerhour. That is where you can go to donate anywhere from $1 to $5 million a month.
Yeah. Koch brothers, if you're listening.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, any support will really help us out. I mean, this is a live production and there's computers involved. All three of us have computers and microphones and all sorts of hardware that can break down, and that helps us with the cost of that stuff.
We like to chew through this equipment.
Yeah, exactly. We all have fur babies who screw things up. But yeah, and it also, for you, it gives you priority for our play nights on Tuesday nights after the show. If you donate $1 or more, you get priority on that, and we make sure you get on our friends list and are able to, just when we're available, we play together on off nights from just playing Heroes of the Storm. And a lot of our patrons have just become our friends, and it's been really awesome. Like Zach's obviously here, and Aya is another one, and Flame.
Happy birthday, Aya.
Yeah. But yeah,
happy birthday, Aya.
Yes,
that's right.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
Happy birthday, Aya.
Happy birthday. But yeah, and we're still working on some other ideas for rewards for our Patreon. So stay tight on those.
Stay tight.
And we'll update you as soon as we know more about those. But yeah, it helps us out and gives us that good feeling of recognizing that someone out there does actually appreciate our work.
Yeah, we're almost doing once we get to 54, that's officially a year's body of work. We've been at it for a while now, and we're really pleased with the people who show up all the time and support us. And if you want to be one of those people, it's the place to show it. Or just showing up in chat, or just downloading and listening. It's always going to be free, guys.
Yes, absolutely.
If you could toss $1 our way, it goes a long way as well. Be sure you're always checking out heroesofthestorm.blizzpro.com. All kinds of great Heroes of the Storm stuff there. Willie, he writes builds. I write builds. We get those champions, those free champions, and weekly sales up the day before they actually go live. If you wanna plan your dollars out for the next day and how you're gonna spend them in the Nexus, we've got Alebeard writing strategy articles that range for the brand new player to people who play this game all the time and think they know everything, and then they run into Ale's article and they go, oh my god, I never thought about that. I need to change the way I play or do this completely. And Ale's just that good. You should be reading his articles. We try to stay current on all the news. You can find all of us there writing, creating content, and doing things for heroesofthestorm.blizzpro.com. So make sure that you're checking that out as well. That's going to do it. 48. Guys, episode 48, we killed it. This is our best show ever, I think.
Absolutely.
Yep. Willie, amazing. Just great job, man.
You know what? Same to you, buddy. You knocked it out of the park. You were a kickball home run.
Thank you.
Just remember, guys, stay tight.
Stay tight out there. We'll see you next week.